they call these the best Nike daily trainers. But I'm wondering, is that true in the long term? Is this really worth that $160 price point? Well, I'm gonna give you the truth, and I'm also share with you the one discovery I came about that actually might make you skip these altogether. So let's get straight to it. So my little story for getting this shoe right here, to be honest with you guys, I didn't have any initial thoughts. When going to the store, I was gonna pick me up a pair of New Balances and a pair of Brooks. These shoes were not on my radar whatsoever, but once I did me a little research and kind of decided and seen what was newly released, I kind of changed my picks based on that. So that being said, I realized that this Nike Vomero Plus, which has had a lot of anticipation, a lot of people on it, a lot of people just trying to get the latest information on it. I've been seeing a lot of great information on the internet, so I decided why not bring it to the channel. That is exactly why I chose the sneaker. Now, some of my first impressions having this sneaker, having it on person, when I put them on at the Dick's Sporting Goods that I did go ahead and caught them at, I gotta say I was very surprised. I'm not surprised at what Nike can do, but just surprised at what the shoe has to offer. It's very springy, it's very soft, it has a very nice feel inside. I gotta say it's very plush, gives you a nice sink-in feel. So if that's what you're looking for, I gotta say, man, that Zoom X is just on point. I gotta say this is a very nice plush, comfortable shoe. You're gonna hear about that plushness a lot in the pro section. But that's pretty much all I gotta say for my first impressions. Have a very nice stack height, and also I just gotta say too that this shoe is one of the top selling shoes in Dick's Sporting Goods, so that just has to speak for itself. Here we do have the Nike Vomero Plus. Let's go ahead and get into some of the pros before we get into the cons. And some of the pros that I do want to bring to your attention is, of course, first off, that cushioning and comfort in the shoe. As you guys can see in the red portion of the shoe, you got that Zoom X, and in writing it says tuned for maximum cushioning. Now that being said, Nike did go ahead and pack that Zoom X foam into the midsole and kind of paired it with that Cushion 3.0 for a plush yet bouncy ride. Now I gotta say it's soft enough for recovery days, but it's still responsive when you want to pick up the pace. So I gotta say this is probably gonna be a great trainer that's good for daily scenarios. So if you're looking for something that's gonna be good for daily scenarios, tap in with the Vomero Plus, and as always, the link will be down below in the description if you do want to check out all the different colorways, sizes, what have you. Pro number 2 is gonna be the overall upper and the fit. I gotta say the upper, the fit, everything that has to do with my feet being into the shoe, I gotta say it felt very comfortable. It felt very plush. It felt like a pillow, and this is no exaggeration. I gotta say, point blank period, this is probably one of the most comfortable shoes I've put on my feet. So I gotta say, very nice. The engineered mesh feels premium. It's very breathable yet structured, and it's true to size for most, and I did indeed get a size 10.5, which is my size. It also has a very slightly snug midfoot that kind of locks you in without squeezing you. So that is a pro. Pro number 3, it has very great stability for a neutral shoe. I gotta say, even though this is a neutral trainer, the wide base keeps you steady. Now I do want to say this shoe is not a stability focused shoe per se, but it's definitely one that is forgiving in a way that if your form starts to fade and run, it will definitely kind of accommodate for that. On to, I want to say, our last 2 perspectives on why this shoe is a pro. It has some very nice versatility to it. You can wear it to do your 3-mile drives, you can wear it to do your 10-mile runs, or just even walking around all day, I gotta say. And it has a very nice blend of performance and casual wear to it, which is better than most trainers, that some that I've owned, but also some that I've reviewed on this channel. So I gotta say, man, you got a lot of great wearability out of this shoe. It's not just a comfort focused shoe. It's definitely one that had style in mind, it had wearability in mind. So if you want a nice style focused shoe that has some very, very good comfort, tap in with this shoe right here. Last but not least, man, we can't have a good shoe at this price point without naming durability as a pro. Durability is definitely a pro for this shoe right here. It's gonna be one that's gonna give you some great mileage. And I've heard after about 150 miles or so, I've heard the outsole rubber is or does show a little bit of worn signs to it, but I've heard the foam is still lively at that point though. I'd also say expect around maybe 400 or 500 miles out of these easily, but that is just what I've heard. That's purely out of research. Here's where it gets a little tricky, and I gotta say the Vomero Plus obviously isn't perfect. So I'm gonna talk about the one issue among others that kind of keeps bugging me since I bought this shoe. So that being said, con number 1, of course, con number 1's gotta be the price point. I know. I feel like con is always, at least one for me, is always that price point. I feel like prices of shoes are going up, but this shoe at about $160, you're paying for a premium daily trainer. And I gotta say, with the sales, you're definitely gonna get a Pegasus or Infinity Run for much less, I gotta say. So that's just my con that I did want to bring to your attention. Obviously, there can be some other better options that are on a budget, kind of like, as I was saying, that Pegasus and Infinity Run. So if you do want some, make sure to let me know in the comment section. I'm sure either me or other people in the community can answer that question for you. But price point, I definitely want to say there can be some other options for people that are more on a budget. But also another thing I do want to say is the weights. The weight may be a little something that can be a little bit much for you. But I gotta say, this shoe is for the weight, very light. You probably shouldn't have weight issues unless you just want something very utmost and very, very light. But with that being said, this is not heavy, but it's around 10 ounces. It's noticeably more substantial than something like the Pegasus 41 if you're more familiar. If you want a very like super light daily trainer, this might just feel a little bulky for you. So that's something to keep in mind. Two things. One, the heat in warm weather might be a bit much because that like plush upper kind of like traps the warmth. And also the break-in period does take a little time. For some people, it can take up to 20 miles to feel fully comfortable. But for me, honestly, me personally, I haven't had any break-in issues for me. Like for me, I got this shoe, put it on straight out the box, and although it does have that fresh out the box feeling, to me, it's not really a problem. So with that being said, I'm gonna talk about, of course, who it is for and who it is not. Now I wanna say, this shoe is probably for those runners who want max comfort for daily miles. It's also for people who kind of want to rotate from one shoe for running and also casual wear. And it's also for those who kind of value that plush cushioning over speed. Now, for people that it's not for, I'll probably say it's not for people that are kind of like minimalist runners who kind of want a nice light and nimble ride. It's probably not for those that are kind of budget conscious buyers, and it's probably not for those who are kind of like people that are kind of hot climates who need that like maximum level of breathability in their shoes. But with that being said, I want you to think of this as like a luxury sedan of running shoes. It's smooth, it's comfortable, it's reliable, but it's not the lightest or cheapest thing out there. So I feel like that's the best way to put it. Great shoe, but it's definitely one where you can find some lower competitors that just have a better price point in terms for your budget. But with that being said, is the Nike Vomero Plus the best daily trainer of 2024? For me personally, I cannot just say that just yet. 2025 has not ended. But I definitely got to say it's definitely in a nice runner-up, especially when compared to the Vomero 18. I feel like that would be a very nice video to compare the two. So you guys let me know if you guys want that comparison in the future. Because, yeah, I feel like that'd be a great comparison. I feel like I'll give this a solid 9 out of 10 for comfort, probably an 8 for performance, and 7 for value. That's my personal ratings. But if you found this video helpful, make sure to leave a like on it so other runners can see it. And before you buy, make sure to go ahead and check out my review right here on the Nike Vomero 18. Very similar shoe. They honestly look the same. And when I seen this in person, I thought it was Vomero 18, but it's really not. Check this video out to the little differences that they have in between them, and I'm sure you won't regret it.